following is a presentation of Main Street Media, your source for news, sports, and information on Main Street in Middle Tennessee.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to a Friday edition of Main Street Sports Today. I'm Chris Yao, and I'm going to be taking you through today's rundown, the weekend's rundown, and then we're going to get you into a couple of big parts of the show. We've got Josh Heupel's presser ahead of Vanderbilt this weekend. We've also got Clark Lee's press conference that he held on Thursday. We're going to give you both of those in their entirety. And then we'll also have some of the best parts of our show from throughout the history of our show. Ty Norris of Trackhouse Racing. We've got the College Football Hall of Fame and so much more. So just hang out with us for this beautiful Friday edition. It is Friday, November 25th. So without further ado, we get you to today's rundown. Brought to you by our friends at Chip Walters. Chip Walters of Exit Realty, Bob Lamb & Associates. The voice of the Blue Raiders also wants to be your trusted advisor in real estate. Contact Chip at 615-542-1915 or through his website at choosechip.net. Chip Walters, proud to support youth sports across Middle Tennessee. Girls basketball action from Wednesday. Culleoka down Collinwood 45-39, while Loretto was a 54-35 winner over Cornersville. Saudi Daisy down Watertown 44-39, and Summertown defeated Moore County 56-43. In boys basketball action, it was Centennial 53, Blackman 30, Culleoka 66, Collinwood 57, Loretto 49, Cornersville 23. And Nolensville 62, Riverdale 52. Summertown's boys down Franklin Christian 59-57, and Saudi Daisy defeated Watertown 43-41. It was Hillsborough 56, Webb School 45. Big win there for the Burros. In NBA action, I believe that's from Tuesday, so we won't worry about that. It was the Kings 113-109 winners over the Grizzlies. Women's basketball action from Wednesday and Thursday. It was Incarnate Word 62-59 over Austin P. In NC State down Vanderbilt 82-73. Men's basketball action from Wednesday night was Tennessee 71, Butler 45. Lipscomb down to UTC 72-66. It was High Point 77-72 winners over Tennessee State. And St. Mary's down Vanderbilt 75-65. On Thursday, Tennessee took care of Southern California 73-66 in overtime, while Vanderbilt earned a 67-59 win over Fresno State. In NHL action from Wednesday night, it was the Red Wings 3, the Preds 0. Your weekend schedule. Friday night football, 7 o'clock kicks in all of these. It's Beach at Bartlett. East Nashville goes to Covington. Giles County hosting Alcoa, while Pearl-Cohn heads to Haywood. Page makes the trip to Henry County, and Maryville is at Oakland. Girls basketball action. Earlier today, it was Westmoreland and Wilson Central at 11:30. At 4:30 today, Cane Ridge takes on Murfreesboro Central. Stewart's Creek hosts Union City at 6 tonight, and Hutchinson School is at Lebanon at 7. In boys basketball, it's Raleigh Egypt at Lebanon at 8:30, Rockville at Stewart's Creek at 7:30. Girls basketball action tomorrow, 10 a.m. Oakland and Gallatin. Westmoreland's at Upperman at 11:30. Also at 11:30, Houston takes on Wilson Central. At noon, it's Union City and Cane Ridge. At 3 o'clock, Nashville Christian and Fayetteville. At 4:30, Hillsborough takes on Brentwood Academy. And at 5:30, Houston is at Lebanon. Good Pastures at Stewart's Creek at 7:30. And at a time unknown, Murfreesboro Central takes on Lawrence County. Boys basketball action on Saturday, Pope Prep taking on Union City at 2 o'clock. Laverne is taking on Brentwood Academy at 6. At 7 o'clock, it's Sycamore at Lebanon. Good Pasture goes to Stewart's Creek at 7:30. And a time unknown, Siegel takes on Father Ryan. Sunday, Hillsborough and Brentwood Academy will play at 4:30. Women's basketball action on a Friday across the NCAA. Belmont takes on Villanova down in Estero, Florida. That game is in progress. They'll be continuing that tournament on Saturday and Sunday. MTSU's out in Vegas. They got Texas Tech. It's also in progress right now. Northern Illinois takes on Vanderbilt in Cancun at 5:30 tonight. Colorado is at Tennessee. That's a 6 o'clock tip on SEC Network Plus. Saturday, Fisk is at Wilberforce at 4:30, and MTSU takes on Missouri State out in Vegas at 1 p.m. On Sunday, MTSU will be in Vegas, time and opponent to be determined, and Eastern Kentucky takes on Tennessee at 1 o'clock. That game is also on SEC Network Plus. Friday men's basketball action. University of Mary is at Trevecca at 2:30 on Friday. That's in just a few minutes. Hofstra is taking on Middle Tennessee State up in Montreal. That's a 6 o'clock tip. In the Bahamas, Tennessee and Kansas tonight at 6:30 on ESPN2. UT Southern is at Alabama A&M tonight. Saturday, men, Fisk at Wilberforce. That game will follow the women. The UT Southern takes on La Tech down at Samford in Birmingham, time to be determined. Sunday, the Firehawks get the host Bulldogs at 2 o'clock. Junior college action tomorrow, Vol State and Vincennes University at 7. Middle Tennessee State football is at Florida International at 5 o'clock on ESPN3. Tennessee is in Nashville to take on Vanderbilt at 6:30. That's a SEC Network kick. Tonight, Pelicans are at the Grizzlies at 7 p.m. on NBA TV. And Sunday, the Grizzlies travel to New York to take on the Knicks at 5 o'clock on Bally Sports Southeast. NHL action this weekend. The Columbus Blue Jackets are at the Predators. It's a 7 o'clock puck drop on Bally Sports South, depending on if they're able to get the water out of the arena. And noon on Sunday, the Titans host the Bengals on CBS. And that is your rundown. All right, we're going to take a quick break here. When we come back, we're going to get into the press conferences of Josh Heupel and Clark Lee. So you guys stick around here on Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. We'll be right back after these short messages with the Best Of Show and Josh Heupel and Clark Lee. Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint treats your orthopedic injuries and existing conditions. Our trained physicians will get you back in the game faster. Contact us at 931-381-2663 or www.mtbj.net. Hey folks, while we take a quick break from the show, I want to tell you about our friends over at Custom Stone Handlers in downtown Columbia. Ed Rich and his team at Custom Stone Handlers believe in leadership. And outside of the military, our greatest leader building platform is sports. Custom Stone Handlers proudly encourages young people to get in the game. You can contact them today at 931-490-4990 or visit CustomStonehandlers.com.
Jones & Lang Sporting Goods here in Columbia has been outfitting teams, officials, and anybody else from T-ball to college for 50-plus years. Be sure and check them out at 931-388-8060 or online at JonesandLang.com. Jones & Lang Sporting Goods, the look of a winner.
Zion Christian Academy, ZionEagles.org or 931-388-5731. You can schedule your appointment. Go tour their campus. It is beautiful over there, and you're definitely going to want to see it. Again, it's ZionEagles.org. Give them a call, 931-388-5731, and schedule your tour today.
Are you an enthusiastic sports fan? Want to have fun and get in on the action?
Heck yes, that'd be awesome.
Have great attention to detail? Want to stay active?
Definitely.
Want to give back to the student athletes in your community?
Obviously, yes.
Then you'd make an excellent high school sports official. We need more officials in Tennessee, because with no high school officials, there are no high school sports. Sign up today at highschoolofficials.com.
Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint has been the official sports medicine provider for Murray County Schools for more than 40 years. We specialize in orthopedic injuries, and our Ortho Quick walk-in service lets you bypass the ER. Visit us online at www.mtbj.net.
How's everybody doing? Disappointed this will be the only time I see you guys until after the ball game. Jeez. That's right.
All right, Coach, you make an opening statement and we'll go ahead.
Happy Thanksgiving week to everybody, and hope everybody has safe travels and enjoys some time with their family and get a chance to watch some football at the end of the week. Just looking backwards, obviously disappointed with the outcome. Everybody inside of our program was. You can still feel it a little bit from the guys today as we started, as they came into the building. Got a chance to watch the tape with them, opportunity to learn and grow. And told the guys that we got to cut that one off and move forward as soon as we got out of the team meeting, and got an opportunity to get on the grass with them a little bit, move around, and we'll see them later today. Looking forward to competing. This is a big game, one of the games that's circled by a big portion of our fan base, obviously in-state game, and important that we go finish this off the right way, and still have a lot of things that we're playing for. First and foremost, this is just our next opportunity to go play together. So looking forward to that opportunity. I'll open it up.
There's a lot of speculation about Jeremy Banks. I'm hoping you can just add some clarity to this. Did he get in an altercation with a teammate? Was he suspended for the South Carolina game? Is he available for Vandy?
We anticipate Jeremy being with us here this week, and as far as what transpired and those types of things, at the end of the day, he wasn't available this Saturday.
Coach, when you went back and looked at the tape, just defensively, was there a common denominator that they took advantage of all night long? Or?
Yeah, disappointed. The players are too, and it's a prideful group that's played well at times. Obviously, this was not a good performance. More missed assignments. We didn't tackle well. Some things that we control, and obviously they played well too. Disappointed in those things. We didn't, defeat blocks. That's up front. That's out on the perimeter. We didn't make plays in space, and those are things that at the end of the day that you have to do. We got to learn from it, grow from it, and be better.
Coach, you guys announced that Hendon Hooker had torn ACL. What can you say about him and his career?
Yeah, hate it for him. Just how much he's poured into it, and the competitor that he is, and how much he's grown, and the opportunity here still on the back end of the season for him. He represents everything good in college football, and a young man that's learned how to become a grown man, that does it the right way, that cares about his teammates, that's grown outside of the game, that's grown inside of the game, that's put himself in a position to have a great future in the game too, and just hate that we don't get a chance to go compete with him again, and that he doesn't have that opportunity. For him, his future, he'll make some decisions here during the course of this week, and start moving on as far as getting healthy, and we're going to do everything that we can to help him in that process.
You're one of the few teams in college football that has an experienced backup that's played a decent amount. Yep. How much have you seen Joe grow? And because Taven's collarbone and now Hendon's ACL, do you have to kind of watch how you game plan with Joe just because there's no depth there, or do you just let it all hang out?
Yeah, I mean, Gaston and Navy are two guys that have been in our system for a while, Gaston in particular. With Joe, we got to go play. We got to find a way to win this game. So we'll use them as needed in the run game too. And Joe has grown a bunch. You guys have seen the way that he's played when he's been given the opportunity. He's got really good command of what we're doing. We don't change what we do, and he'll be ready to go in this one.
How different is he in the run game versus last year this time? Seems different.
Yeah, well, I think he's a lot more comfortable in what we're doing, and so in the run game and in just his decision-making process, eyes, all of it, he's a lot further ahead than where we saw him at the beginning of last season. And the guys around him have changed too, and anticipate him playing at a really high level.
What have you seen from Vanderbilt as a team? Obviously 2 straight wins over Kentucky and Florida. What are they doing well here lately?
Yeah, playing as a team. They've created turnovers, created plays on special teams defensively. Done a nice job here the last couple of weeks, making you earn it. They play hard. They're physical. You see that in all 3 phases of the game. from them, quarterback run game, potentially a portion of what they're going to do in this one. We got to do a really good job of handling that and defeating blocks, and numbers are a part of that. And then you got to win on the outside too. We got to do a better job than we did a week ago with big, strong, physical wideouts. And offensively, we got to be efficient and play ahead of the chains. And you guys hear me talk about it. We need to start fast in this one too. Defensively, the last couple of weeks we haven't started as fast as we're capable of. We need to start fast in this one.
Just when y'all went back and cleaned up the film, was there anything schematically you could have done defensively to put them in better positions, or was it just one of those nights where just plays weren't being made?
I'm sure there's probably a couple of things that Coach Banks would change, but you're trying to balance everything too. You know what I mean? From your numbers count in the box to protecting your guys out on the outside. And at the end of the day, there's some plays that we're capable of making that we didn't make in some of the one-on-one situations, and just didn't play well enough.
You've spoken this year about this team's ability to not flinch, and part of that is Hendon's leadership. I wonder, where is the leadership? Where do you feel like the leadership of this team is in those situations without Hendon out there? And then as a coach, what are you looking for this week to make sure that there's no carryover from Saturday night and that they do flush it? What do you need to see?
Yeah, you got to cut it clean and you got to flush it. That shows in your energy in the building. It shows in your approach in the meeting room. It shows with the energy and competitiveness that you have out on the practice field. Looking back a week ago, I told the team today too, I liked a lot of what we did during the course of the week, and mindset and approach at the end of the week is going to be important in this one too. Obviously, Thanksgiving creates something unique this week. The leadership portion of it, Hendon is a strong leader. There's absolutely no doubt. He'll be in the building here at the beginning part of the week too. I think that's important. His teammates see him and feel him too. But we got a lot of strong leadership. It's not just one guy from within our locker room, and we got a bunch of prideful guys. That's why we've continued to improve as a program over the 2 years since I've been here. This one should be and will be important to our guys. Go finish. There's a lot that we're playing for. In life and in this game, you got to finish strong, and we're obviously at the tail end of our regular season. It's important to finish it the right way.
Coach, you saw when you made the announcement on Sunday that kind of social media was flooded with support for Hendon. What has it been like from your perspective to watch the way he's become almost larger than life with the fan base?
Yeah, it's been a great journey with him, watching him through the journey, what he means to this program currently, but long-term too. He's got an unbelievable legacy that he's built here, and he's built it along with his teammates. And I got a question a minute ago just about being able to finish. Man, this team's playing for a legacy too, and how you finish things. And Hendon, playing at as high a level as anybody in college football, anybody I've ever been around, and just the competitor that he is. Everybody can see that, and he's been a huge part of setting some really solid cornerstone pieces to what this program is and is going to be in the future.
Obviously not going to play this week. How much would you like to see him get that recognition for what you're talking about with a trip to New York as a finalist coming up here? And then any update on Brandon Turnage?
Don't have an update on Brandon. We'll see here later this week. For Hendon, he's not going to have an opportunity to play the last regular season game, but the rest of the season, there's nobody playing at a higher level than he has, and you can see that in the way that we've played, the numbers that he's put up. He absolutely deserves the opportunity to be there. In some of the quarterback awards, anticipate him having an opportunity to win those.
Coach, with Joe, have you seen anything in him since Saturday night, knowing that he's going to sort of take over for this last game? Any change in him? And what does it say about him that he's kind of stuck it out through everything that he went through and now is getting this opportunity? Yeah,
you continue to invest. The guys that put the most into it inevitably get it rewarded back to them. You don't know when, you don't know how, but he'll be prepared in a great way for this one. Been really consistent in his preparation as the backup all season long. yesterday. He's in the building watching tape like he normally does, and we'll have a great plan for him and expect him to go play at a really high level and execute it.
Wes, and then Reese.
Josh, how these days with the portal, how difficult is it to get or to keep a backup quarterback who's really got some combination of experience and a lot of ability? It just seems like there's not many of those guys out there right now.
Yeah, the combination of that, we talked about it during the offseason when he chose to stay and you guys were asking those same questions. It's hard, it's rare. I think it speaks to the culture in the building, the culture inside of the quarterback room, his understanding of how he can grow as a player, and at the end of the day, you know, the biggest competition you have is with yourself to continue to develop and become the player that you're capable of, and he's approached it the right way. But I think it's a great lesson for a lot of guys throughout college football.
Coach, after Hooker found out about the news, what were your conversations like with him? What was your message to him?
Yeah, you know, in the locker room afterwards, before you had a final determination, tough. You love on him, and you know, emotional for him too. More realization yesterday after he gets, you know, results from everything medically, and you know, he comes back this morning and he's got great energy, got a huge smile on his face. Like, you can see how he's gone through his journey and why he's been able to have success through all the ups and downs. Man, he's so consistent and very positive, and is able to flip forward, and there's no doubt he'll be successful on the back end of this too.
Josh, any update on Danico Slaughter? And you spoke on the importance of cutting it loose and moving on.
Yeah.
Have you seen anything from your team yesterday watching film, today at practice, that shows they have flipped that script and want to move on?
Yeah, this morning you can still feel, you know, the sense of pain and opportunity lost as they came up the stairs in the position room. I thought, you know, as they exited the team room and really when we got on the field, there was good energy in what we were doing today. We'll see them again later today, but I anticipate our guys having a great week of preparation and practice, man, and really do. Danico, don't know anything at this point. We'll know more here on the back end of the week.
Do you judge Joe right now, Joe Milton, and how he can help you now, or is there any part of you that is trying to see the impact he could have next season in the future? How are you evaluating him now, or
man, this week's all about this week. That's it. Let's go finish this off the right way. You know, an opportunity to finish with 10 regular season wins hasn't been done here in a long time. Put us in the best bowl situation we can be in. This football team's come a long way. It's grown. It's competed. It's all about this week. Okay, thanks, guys. Happy Thanksgiving once again.
Appreciate you guys allowing us to go a little early here and also adjusting the schedule to be a little later too. Obviously a big week for us and an exciting week to have something at stake here late in the year to be playing for. You know, we're enjoying, you know, having the chance to have back-to-back wins and in our conference and seeing the fruits of the labor, and I'm so happy for our players to be enjoying that success too. And we're still kind of in the early stages of this, but you know, for them to see that the process is staying faithful to the process pays off, and stepping into the fight each week and finding that belief, that formula to find a positive outcome has been exciting. And you know, obviously we're going to have a tough task this weekend with a really good team coming in, but we're going to be excited for that task. And Tennessee's got a dynamic offense. They've been really good on defense this year too, but obviously we know that a lot runs through that offensive system. Obviously, you know, I heard for Hooker, who suffered the season-ending injury, and I think anytime you see a competitor like that go down, you know, you hurt for someone who's given so much to have their season cut short. But we know that as we line up against them, that Milton's going to be capable of executing that offense, that he's proven that at times in his career, but you know, you could see flashes of that at the finish of the game. And they've got really good skill and a good offensive line, and they've got a good design. So that's what we're going to spend our energy focusing on, how we neutralize that design, and how we do our best to put our defense in good positions. We see that as an effort across all three phases. So we need offense to be able to control drives and sustain drives and obviously finish with touchdowns. And we need our special teams unit to create an explosive play for us, and obviously to force them into long fields and position our defense to have success. So that's our collective plan, and that's what we'll be doing. And just fun to have a meaningful game here late in the season, and we're excited to go at it. So with that, I'm happy to open up.
So regarding the quarterback situation, is AJ going to be able to go? And if he is, who's going to start?
Well, he's still working his way back, and we expect him to be kind of available and full go at practice tomorrow. I think we have to see. I mean, he hasn't played football in a while, so we want to be conscious of that. Obviously, we know his skills, and he's certainly accumulated enough reps this year to be ready. He has to be healthy. If he's healthy, then again, the decision tips to the person who gives our team the best chance to win. Obviously, Mike is coming off 2 weeks where he's run the offense to a level of effectiveness where we've had success in the run game, and we've also found success throwing the ball too, and we don't discount that. And so, for us, this is a matter of here late in the year, knowing that all our chips are on the table and that we're playing and fighting to extend our season, that we'll make the decision necessary to what we feel like position our team best to win.
In terms of the magnitude of this game, do you guys as a staff need to message your players about keeping it grounded and all that, or at this point is the culture to the point, and after the last couple of weeks where the team leaders are kind of almost doing that themselves and just saying itself?
We don't want to. I think we have to be intentional about not adding emotion or creating. We can talk about process and then message something that pulls guys out of process, right? We have to be disciplined in the way we set our team up to go out on Saturday and pull from the learning from the previous weeks. I do feel like the team is committed to the process we've undertaken here to prepare through the week, and so we're not doing anything differently. I mean, the only thing that's different is the schemes and concepts that we're practicing against this week, obviously being unique to Tennessee. Other than that, we're aware of the fact that we have a chance to fight to extend our season. We're using that as a point of celebration, just to, again, be excited for that opportunity. But we know in the end, this is about us playing to our identity and our highest level of performance being enough. Now, there are aspects of our past two games that we feel like we need to grow from, move on from, whether it be the penalties in the Kentucky game or the turnovers in that game. Certainly the turnovers against Florida, and times defensively where our structure's broken down in critical moments. We have to solidify those areas to give ourselves the best chance for the result we want. That'll be the messaging. That'll be how we attack the week. And otherwise, we're filling the time with our normal spirit and enthusiasm, and we're having fun. Just being focused on football this week, right? And then with a great Thanksgiving celebration coming Thursday, those are points of celebration and things that get us excited.
Do you prepare any differently for Joe Milton than you would have for Hendon Hooker?
Outside of subtle nuances that we'll study through the snaps he's taken, I think this is a system offense. I don't see it as deviating, if at all, from what has delivered their success. I think that they're still very skilled on the perimeter, and I think Milton has every tool he needs to get the ball out there. Obviously, they've also established a run game this season that's I think set up by their passing game, and so the way they stretch you out horizontally allows for that vertical puncture, and Milton can carry the ball too. They've used him in the South Carolina game with some draw work there, and he's been effective that way. So I just don't see it changing them that much. They've had a good formula, and the formula's worked. I think that Milton has the tools that he needs to go in there and really make the transition seamless.
How do you structure your back end? Because I know CJ's played different places, Jalen's played different places, DeRicky's shown some different looks. Where are you with those guys right now?
I think we've found a pretty, we've used CJ as the field overhang. Early in the year, he played a little more back. Once we get into sub-personnel groupings or third down, we move him around just a little bit because we can, and obviously that gives us variation, which, on third down becomes an advantage. We know Jalen can play as a down cover player, but also, again, he's played deep for us most of the season. And with DeRicky, we've kind of settled into having him as the boundary safety for the most part, again, with the ability to move him around a little bit on third down. And then we've used him at times, too, against 12 personnel where we actually line him up on a tight end and let him play. So I feel like we've established a rhythm with those guys. We won't deviate from that this week. Obviously, I think their offense forces you to alter your leverage on the perimeter and alternate between 4-down looks and 3-down looks and do things that give you a chance to stretch the field without necessarily pulling at the box. Those will be things that we look at to create variation, but it won't be in moving guys around.
You've got kind of an interesting mix in the secondary. I guess you could include CJ, this young guys who are contributing right now, and basically super seniors with Jeremy and I guess Jalen and Worship. What has been the impact of those guys in helping the younger players sort of figure things out back there? Considering this, I would think based on Tennessee's tempo is going to be a challenging week in that aspect.
It's been first of all those guys have strengthened us, and I think the challenge, for Jalen, for example, is he's really had to learn a new position this year. I mean, there's some carryover from his past, but he's played deep. That's what he's done, and this season, and that's been kind of a new world for him, where he's had to adjust a little bit that way after having played corner and nickel for us, more a year ago. Obviously, Jeremy comes in with experience, but being new to the system and new to the place, so he's had to take time to just get adjusted. Max would be the one that's been the most steady, in terms of the position played and haven't been here, and certainly we've pulled from his leadership. But just because those guys are learning and through the season they're learning, I think it actually sets up nicely as a way to model for young players to say, hey, this is how you show up every day and ask good questions and pay attention to detail. And though they haven't been able to necessarily focus their attention on getting others lined up, what they have been able to do is be very specific with the expectation of the style of defense we play and how hard we play. And sometimes those things, those foundational aspects of your personality on defense are as important as anything. When the ball is thrown on the perimeter, are we pursuing with the energy that we need? And those are things that veteran players holding younger players accountable is a very powerful, it's just a powerful form of accountability. So, they've helped, and then you go into this week, and now we have a tempo team, and communication is going to be important in getting aligned. And certainly those guys will take leadership roles and making sure that we're, our course is set for success. But, that's something that they've grown into through the season as they've themselves become comfortable in the roles they're playing.
Mark, after the Kentucky game, Florida, what do you think it did for the guys on the team to kind of kick the door down, so to speak, and get the confidence of seeing the results?
Well, you'd like to believe that, you're able to, sell vision and message staying in it no matter what. And I think these guys have shown through the year that they're willing to step in each week, even without the result. However, look, I think it's a huge deal for them to recognize the control they have over the course of a game. And I say control and I've said this before in here, but too often I feel like we've fallen victim to offloading power to the opponent. I think I said a few weeks ago after the South Carolina game, we have to get better at the playing of football. And that's 11 guys being on the same page each snap. And when you have 11 guys on the same page each snap and you're avoiding self-inflicted wounds, then, you have a chance to play good football and actually put some pressure on the opponent. Past 2 weeks we've been able to do that, and we've done it at a level where, we've been able to capitalize on our opponent's mistakes. That's learning. And once you recognize the rhythm of a competitive game and how you impact the outcome through the course of it, those are learning experiences that you package away. And what you recognize is, go back to halftime at the Ole Miss game. We had momentum, we had rhythm. In the first half, we had established a run game, and at the halftime, we fell victim to unnecessary emotion, to maybe assumptions about the outcome. That once you've learned the process to win, you recognize that there's going to be punch and counterpunch in the second half. You're not going to ever have a situation where the opponent steps away and says, the game is yours. And we have to be confident enough and believe enough to where when we do incur a setback, that we fight through it, we persevere through it. What I've seen from this team in the last 2 weeks is they've taken that message to heart, and they're actualizing it in the performance. So it's not that the last 2 games have been perfect. Certainly, I feel like there's a lot of room for us to improve our play, but it's been good enough to win. And in particular, when we've had situations where early in the year maybe bad things snowball, the next unit on the field steps in and does what's needed to be done to right the ship. And that could be our defense delivering a stop, delivering a turnover. That could be an offense driving to a score or having sustained drive. Certainly the special teams, to me, have been great connective tissue between the 2 units. You look at the end of that game, and we had 2 pin punts. So independent of the one that we recovered for a touchdown, there's 2 pin punts in the fourth quarter where we pinned the ball inside the 10-yard line where we have a 2-score lead. I mean, that's a huge point of execution that allows for the winning performance. And again, not to be long-winded, Gentry, but learning all those things and how they stack up and matter, and all those little details, how they can deliver that win. Right now we're not lining up and just being better than, but we're playing together and we're playing a style of football that's unlocking our potential. And we have to stay that course, and that has to be, again, exhibited again this Saturday for us to have a chance for the result we want.
Did you get an explanation from the SEC about the last play, both specifically like the guy being inbounds and the clock stopping, and then also that they got the snap off?
Yeah, no, I haven't yet, and I think probably had the situation tipped another way that obviously might have been more urgent in getting that feedback. But I said this last night to Andrew, but it's like that moment where you're so adamant that you're seeing it one way and it's not being seen that way on the field, and you're like, God, you step into it, and then you're like, wait, am I wrong here? You kind of step back and no, and next thing you know that, the ball's being snapped and up in the air. What I see is an opportunity for us to execute that Hail Mary defense. I was really proud of the way the defense stayed locked in. And, I thought, that moment's a moment of growth for us because, we've had those situations. If you're not focused in that moment and you're getting caught up in trying to officiate the game as a player, or your attention's at the wrong place, I mean, that ball goes up and, the opponent has a chance to come down with it. Felt like the way we defended that snap, it really took away options. And, I was proud of that. I have not spent a lot of time getting an explanation, though. It was a chaotic few seconds there for sure.
What does this game mean to you, considering you played here, you've been part of this rivalry, and then knowing the stakes of potentially going to a bowl game?
Well, obviously it means a lot. This is a game that, I grew up interested in, and as I played here, obviously was very interested in it. And now as the coach, it means a lot to me too. But again, my focus right now is on building this program, on the mission of building this program, and recognizing exactly where we are, and in the moment, rather than kind of defaulting to the emotions that I feel around the game. Certainly the fight to extend our season is really important to us. I got a staff and a group of players that care a lot about each other and care a lot about what we're building. And They've done a great job positioning us at this point in the season to be within striking distance of a bowl game. Nothing's guaranteed, and we're going to have to earn it this Saturday. That I know, but we're gonna put focus on that because that's about that puts shine on exactly what it is we're doing here, and that's building a program that we're proud of. As far as the personal emotions, I feel they're there, but my discipline in keeping the mission focus of the program and how we're building out and learning the strength of Vanderbilt football and the identity of Vanderbilt football, those will be the things that I focus on this week.
Senior day, obviously you've got some guys who can come back, who might not come back. Do you have a good count of who's maybe playing their last game and who's not?
To say a good count, I think would be misleading. There's going to be an element of after we get through the game, we'll honor guys, obviously, just like we did a year ago, but we'll be sitting down with a number of guys to determine what, the best course of action is moving forward. And so, I don't have a great answer for that right now, but obviously those conversations are conversations we've entered into during the bye weeks, but they just can't happen fully until we've kind of reached the end of the season. There's a dead period early next week that gives us the opportunity to kind of sit and really explore all those options.
Recruiting, how's winning 2 in a row helped your message and how it's received?
Again, I think there's obviously there's visible evidence, and that certainly goes in lockstep with the vision that we're selling as a program, and everyone's excited about that. I mean, we have to use these opportunities to level up. We have to use these opportunities to go further in those recruiting efforts and make sure that we're, again, staying focused on what we feel like is the profile of a Vanderbilt football player, someone who's tough enough to come in and help because there's still building ahead of us, someone who wants to be a part of something that's bigger than themselves and leave a legacy where you have a hand in turning a program. And obviously, what the last 2 games have done have shown everyone that we're at the beginning of something that can be really special. And for most of the people that we're in touch with, that's a point of excitement. So we want to continue this so that we can continue to level up and never deviating from our identity, never deviating from who we are. But we think that by being committed to our personality and being committed to the program we're building, we have a chance again to build something special and that we're going to reflect back on and be really proud of being a part of.
I think the only injury stuff we have at this point would be Xavier Castillo and Kibo. Are they both out?
They are, and then Ben Cox too, and then and Devin Body as well. Those are longer term injuries. Obviously, I don't know that we talked about Davian after the game, but did you see him get out there for a few snaps? Yeah, he got in there. It was good to see that. And obviously, AJ working his way back this week. We expect to be available, but I want to give the chance the week for him to make it through the week to be definitive on that.
One other thing, the Anchor Collective got announced. What's the impact of that for you?
Well, it's this is again, we talked, Chris, about leveling up. Here's a chance for us to level up with respect to the resources available to our student athletes, and we want there to be no compromises in choosing Vanderbilt. That comes from first the availability of an elite education, that you can come here and redefine what your future looks like by investing in your education here. Obviously, to play in the SEC and to be a part of a program that's building in this conference, which we feel like is obviously the best conference in college football. I mean, my friend David Culley said it best when he said there's 3 leagues. There's the AFC, the NFC, and the SEC, right? And so I enjoyed that when he said it. And then certainly the third is, as you experience success and there's opportunities for you to have a market value and resources that we want to make sure that we're structured to make that available too. And it'll never be the lead for us. That's intentional. But to have this online and to have it something here early on that's going to grow and become a great resource for our program. We're excited for that.
Anything else? Thanks, everybody.
All right, thanks.
The high school football season is here, and nobody handles Friday nights better than Main Street Media. Here's Zach Womble with details.
That's the name of the game here at Main Street Media and Main Street Preps. Is, we've been doing this for a long time now, and I think you hit on it. We've got an army of reporters across all of Middle Tennessee. I think there's about 130 schools in the Middle Tennessee area, and we try to cover all of them. We cover about 11, 12 counties at this point. And those Friday night shows, it's we're gonna show that off. We're gonna showcase the talent that we have on the field with reporters across several mid-state games on the weekly basis. So, whether you're in Williamson County, whether you're in Giles County or Murray County or Montgomery or Robertson or anywhere in between, we're going to have you covered from 6 to 11.
Friday Night Live is presented by the Tennessee Highway Safety Office, where fans don't let fans drive drunk.
Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint treats your orthopedic injuries and existing conditions. Our trained physicians will get you back in the game faster. Contact us at 931-381-2663 or www.mtbj.net. Welcome back in Main Street Sports today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. As you can see there, we will talk with Chip Walters later in the show. Looking forward to that, as always. Also, Top 5 Tuesday, we will talk about the worst or most embarrassing losses we have suffered as fans. So stick around. That should be a lot of fun as well. But first, let's get into the coaching carousel that we currently find ourselves in college football. I will say that the folks that are on my friends list on Facebook have certainly been adamantly talking up Bill O'Brien for the Nebraska job.
Is he still in the Saban rehabilitation program?
He's the OC. Okay. And was last year. Folks just not loving Bill O'Brien as a play caller either, apparently.
Yeah, it's funny. They don't love Bill O'Brien as a play caller. They didn't love Lane Kiffin as a play caller.
They loved Lane.
Did they?
Lane and Sark, they were very happy with.
Really?
Yes. They were very sad to see Lane Kiffin go.
Is that because he was going to Ole Miss or because
he went to
Oh, that's right. He went
Atlantic.
to Florida Atlantic first. Yeah, my bad.
That's the thing is there have been two play callers that they didn't love.
O'Brien and who?
Dable, who's not so bad after all up in New York. But yeah, Brian Dable and Bill O'Brien, they were ready to get out as quickly as they could get them out. And granted, Dable clearly a better play caller at the professional level than he was at the collegiate level. And sometimes that's just how it works. But Bill O'Brien is a guy who has taken a program that was literally in shambles and won 8 ball games with them.
Mm-hmm.
So he might, and in the Big Ten at that. So is Bill O'Brien an option for Nebraska?
Does Bill O'Brien want Nebraska?
And if he wants to be a head coach.
But see, that's part of the problem for a lot of guys. I mean, you want to be a head coach wherever there's an opening instead of getting someplace that you can be successful necessarily. I mean, is the head coach all that's wrong at Nebraska?
Well, let me just tell you, I think it has a lot to do with it. Here are some of the things that I have heard, again, this is all hearsay, so please, this is none of this is actual fact that I have verified firsthand, but this is what I've been told and what I have heard.
Mm-hmm.
The golf team at Nebraska went to Trev Alberts and said,
The golf team. Okay.
Said, Scott Frost is using the simulator so much we can't even practice. Just him and his buddies drinking, using the simulator in the facility. He would not show up to practice or coaches meetings, just an hour and a half late to practices and meetings.
As recently or as far back as, what was the window for all this?
I'm not sure when this started.
Because here's the thing. Once this season started with that debacle in Ireland, he knew he was dead man walking. Had to.
Okay, but he didn't do all of this in a week.
Well,
they didn't go to Trev Alberts in 1 week and say, dude's just not showing up anymore.
Yeah.
And I don't know how long it was going on, but this dude was like, he was checked out.
Well, and how, again, Scott Frost should have been fired at the end of last season.
Sure.
And how, as AD, do you not know that your football coach has checked out without somebody else coming and tell you?
It's pretty rough. So my thought here is that if Bill O'Brien can win 8 games in the mess that was Penn State that year, in the world of the transfer portal, he could probably be pretty good pretty quick.
Yeah. I'm not sure where Nebraska is in the hierarchy right now in terms of kids wanting to get somewhere coming out of the transfer portal. The same thing that doesn't make Nebraska necessarily attractive coming out of high school probably doesn't make them attractive coming out of the transfer portal. I don't know. There's a lot of dynamics there that I don't have the answers to, obviously. But
no, I'm not. I'm just saying that if I'm Bill O'Brien, I feel like Nebraska is a place that I can do what I did at Penn State. Because one, that division is terrible. Terrible.
Yeah, that's definitely the less competitive of the two divisions in the Big Ten.
So I think he's an option. Now for Arizona State, we've talked about Brian Harsin and we've talked about some others, but I don't think Brian Harsin is an actual option right now. One, because he has a job. But
who has that stopped?
I'm just saying I don't know that he's going to have a job that long. I'm trying to look for Pete Thamel's tweet, and here we go. Names for Arizona State: Brian Harsin, Kalani Sitake, Jonathan Smith.
Oh, well, stop. Kalani Sitake's not leaving BYU.
I don't know why you would, but especially for Arizona State.
Mm-hmm.
Jonathan Smith, I don't even know.
I'm not familiar with that.
That's such a normal name. You're not, you know what I mean? Like John Smith.
He's the head coach at Oregon State.
Well, yeah. I don't really know why you'd go from one bad Pac-12 program to another other than it's warmer. It's climate.
Maybe that's it. And he's making 2.4 to be cold and wet.
Yeah.
So, anyway, go ahead.
Tom Herman, I don't think that's happening now that Houston's going to the Big 12. Troy Calhoun and
At Air Force?
yeah, which would be interesting.
Well, here's the thing there. If he hasn't left after all this time, I don't know why he's going to leave now.
Yeah.
Of course, a lot of people, including myself, said that about who's the guy that finally went from Boise to Washington?
Steve
Peterson.
Chris Peterson.
Chris Peterson, yeah. I mean, so maybe Arizona State is his dream job or something. I don't know. I've never heard that, but
Charles Huff.
Another hot name.
Yeah, I mean, you beat Notre Dame, and Notre Dame, you're going to get some. You're going to be a name for.
You're going to get some love. What did they do last week though?
They won. I just don't know who that. Didn't they?
No, they lost to Bowling Green in overtime.
Oh, never mind then. Oof, that's rough.
At Bowling Green.
Still.
Right.
Matt Ince at North Dakota State. Not leaving. Sean Lewis. And I don't know who Sean Lewis is off the top of my head. I've got him right here, though. He is at Kent State. Bill O'Brien, Todd Monken, Alex Grinch.
Alex Grinch. Is he still at Oklahoma?
I'm not sure because with everybody that no, he's at USC now.
So he went with
Yeah.
Lincoln Riley.
And finally, Derek Mason, who, if you call people in Nashville, he's probably not getting the job.
Well, so, and I said this when Derek Mason left Vanderbilt. I don't know that we know if Derek Mason can coach or not, just because of what he had or didn't have to work with at Vanderbilt.
Well,
Arizona State's probably a better program than Vanderbilt, just in terms of everything.
I'm just going off of what we've been told on this show from media members, other media members. Derek Mason left this place in shambles. And honestly, I mean, I don't know who you call to find that information out, but I don't know that Derek Mason's getting another head coaching job if anybody calls anybody in Nashville. That being said, I still don't. You're right. I don't know that he can coach. And maybe he checked out too because he couldn't get any support from the higher ups at Vanderbilt. He was like, screw it. I'm just going to collect my money until I get out of here. That very well could have been it too. I don't know. But I think both of those jobs are very interesting jobs. I think of the two, Arizona State can be a winner more quickly than Nebraska. But I also think Nebraska is willing to put in more effort to give a coach whatever it needs. So I don't know which is the better situation if you were called by both of them. You know what I mean?
That'll be interesting to see how the
overlap.
The overlap, yeah. Who gets interest from both, or who is interested in both, I guess. So
This is Chris Yao with Main Street Sports Today. Every show, Mo Patton and I welcome friends from all across the sports landscape, from high school coaches and reporters to national, college, and pro sports personalities. You never know who might stop by for a chat. AP Tennessee sports editor, three-time Tennessee Sports Writer of the Year 2020 TSWA Hall of Famer. She covers the Titans, the Predators, the Grizzlies, college football, and hoops. Please make welcome Teresa Walker.
Former University of Tennessee, former Team USA Olympian, ex-Cy Young Award winner, R.A. Dickey. R.A., did I miss anything?
Man, that was sweet. Yeah, I need to listen to that before I go to bed every night. That was nice.
Has 5 sports Emmys. That's not bad for the other guy in Wham, Ryan McGee.
Other guy Wham married the best looking girl Bananarama, so other guy Wham had a pretty good life.
From preps to pros, we're taking on the sports topics you care about. Tune in across Main Street Media social platforms at 2 p.m. or on demand on your podcast distribution platform of choice. Welcome back into Main Street Sports today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone & Joint. Chris Yao, Mo Patton, JP Plant on the controls, coming to you from the College Football Hall of Fame here in Atlanta, Georgia. Among SEC Media Days, Radio Row, we've got fantastic folks all around us, have had such a fantastic week, Mo. It has been just so much fun getting a chance to walk around the Hall of Fame, to meet a lot of folks, to see a lot of familiar faces and folks that we haven't seen or talked to in a while, and it's been great.
It really has. Like you said, for me, having covered the SEC in another life, it's been a lot of fun to see some of the folks that are still around, catching up with some folks that we follow on Twitter and that kind of thing, and gleaning a lot of knowledge from, and have been fortunate enough to have some on the show with us. So it's been a lot of fun. It
really has, and the College Football Hall of Fame has been so gracious from the time that we announced we were coming to today. So we want to thank them so much for their hospitality, and we're not just saying that because the College Football Hall of Fame CEO, Kimberly BEAUDIN, is sitting at the table with us. But, Kimberly, it really has been a pleasure. You guys have been phenomenal.
Well, thank you very much. And you can butter me up anytime.
Flattery will get you very far in life, I hear.
Yes, it will. It will.
But in all seriousness, though, as soon as we tweeted out that we were coming down for this, someone from your staff hit us up, both on Twitter, in DMs, that kind of thing. They've been in touch with us about getting special tours. They were with us about getting you on, and we really appreciate you taking the time, because I know you've been busy.
We've been very busy, but I could talk about the Hall of Fame all day, every day.
Well,
I love the place. It's my job, and so thank you for having me.
Well, there's certainly a lot to talk about. You came on board in June 15th as VP of Marketing and Communications, worked your way up, and I don't know what you do. What is it you do here? Because this place kind of sells itself, I would imagine.
Well, you would think that. No, I think my biggest role is to be the ambassador for the Hall of Fame, and to just really shine the best light I possibly can on this incredible facility, and also on the mission, right? We are a nonprofit, and so it's really important for me, I think, to be the voice that really carries that mission forward. We're focused on education and inspiration. We have over 1,200 Hall of Famers, and these are not just incredible athletes and coaches, but incredible human beings that have some amazing stories, and we get the honor of sharing those to really inspire future generations. And so through programming, STEAM curriculum, and things like that, so I get to carry the mission forward too.
We looked around this place a little bit earlier this week, and will continue to do so, but one of the most impressive things to me, and this is the first time I've been here, but when you first walk in the door and you see those 760 football helmets from every Division I, Division II, Division III NAIA football program in the country, that's really impressive. It's impactful right there. And then when you talk about the number of kids playing for each of those programs, there are a lot of people involved in college football at some level.
Absolutely. It goes well beyond, the Power 5 and Division I schools to, as you said, all the way down to NAIA. And these are, football is a game changer and a life changer for many of these athletes when they start playing the game. And the life lessons it teaches, will carry through. So, we're excited to be able to celebrate kind of those universal values. As the game is going to continue to change in the climate that we're in, we get to celebrate the best of the game and the people that have played it.
And as you say that, the fact that the SEC is having its media days here this week, it just seems like we were talking about it earlier in the week. If you could have your media days here, I don't know why you wouldn't.
And anybody can. So honestly, we are, obviously proximity-wise, Atlanta is kind of the center of the SEC conference, but we're the National College Football Hall of Fame. There's only one. So, we welcome any and every conference that would love to come to their media days here. We'd love to have you.
Big Ten?
Absolutely, come on.
I don't know how SEC fans. There might be bigger crowds to boo the Big Ten teams than there are to cheer on the SEC teams. Actually, you know how our fans kind of get around here.
Well, and that is what makes our game so special. Are those rivalries and that passion that is just steeped, very deep.
Mm-hmm. Speaking with Kimberly Beaudin of the College Football Hall of Fame here. Kimberly, I have been here when it's not shut down, and by that I mean the interactive exhibits that you guys have are just really interesting, from the fight songs to coming in here and getting a chance to be the play-by-play guy on some of the most iconic plays in college football history, to actually throwing and kicking footballs on the field. It's just
he missed.
I missed my field goal. It's not good.
You need to practice and come back.
I will tell you, I don't think my hamstring can take it, or my quad again. One time was enough.
We've seen a couple people blow out a hammy.
I bet
it's happened. It's not pretty.
Well, you certainly aren't stretching before you do it. You're in line, and nobody's over there, pulling their legs up. And next time, if I do it again, I promise you, I will be over there stretching out, making sure everything's good.
I've got visions of Al Bundy.
That's exactly. I mean, those 4 touchdowns in one game. But no, the interactivity is that's one thing that makes it really cool for all ages,
Absolutely.
From little kids all the way to adults much older than me.
And that's what we wanted. We wanted something that celebrated all the fun in the game. Yes, the Hall of Fame is hallowed ground, and it's really celebrating, again, as I said, the best of the best. But the game itself is fun, and we have fight song karaoke. We have a game day desk where you can sit in between Reese and Desmond and pick the winner. We have virtual face painting. We have a combine challenge. We have a quarterback simulator that's VR. That's one of our newer exhibits.
That was really cool. I got a chance to sit in the stands. There's like a little bleacher section behind it, and I got a chance to watch a couple of kids throw. That was really fun.
Well, if you get a chance to do it, it's pretty amazing. All 22 players on the field. It is totally immersive, full 360. And if you play, we have Pee Wee, high school, college, and pro level. And if you play that pro level and don't get rid of the ball, you are going to get hit, and it is going to feel like you got hit. It's pretty incredible.
So that makes sense, yeah. We'll get rid of the ball. Gotcha.
Kimberly Beaudin, CEO of the College Football Hall of Fame, with us here on Main Street Sports today. A Central Florida graduate.
Mm-hmm.
Which national champions were y'all again now?
When they beat Auburn, right, in the Peach Bowl. So
right here in Atlanta.
Yeah.
Were you there?
I was.
Oh, I bet.
Now, are you claiming that?
No.
Okay.
She's like,
I mean, I work in business. I got to have some credibility here. No.
Just wanted to be sure. So
not here. She's claiming it. At the house, though, she's got
a banner and a ring and all that, right? Yeah.
I get the pleasure of being a Gator and a Knight, so as I went to both, so
Oh.
How
does that work?
It's it hasn't been necessarily a rivalry in any way, shape, or form, so that could change, but.
Josh Hype will come at SEC Media Days, so that's interesting there.
There you go, yeah. So you were a college football fan before you got here then?
Oh, yes, very much so.
I would think it would be almost a requirement.
It is. Now, I will say, I don't want somebody to come work here just because they're a college football fan. They need to be passionate about the work we're doing because, yes, the topic is college football, but we're still operating, a museum, and we're dealing with the public. And so they've got to have a passion for the business itself. But, yeah, it is one of the interview questions we like to ask. And then they'll always say who their team is, and then there's always banner. I get paid to talk smack for a living.
And we do too.
You kind of do.
We do kind of.
Yeah.
So that is interesting and very fun. By the way,
it is. They needed some help on the field when Florida State was here for kickoff versus Alabama. And so you're trying to help people kick field goals, and the Florida State fans step up, and you're like, wide right or wide left?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's fine. It's fine.
That is one thing that I feel like that's one thing that isn't unique about this place. Like you said, it's the only College Football Hall of Fame. You're the only one. So people from all across the country are coming here to see their team's, biggest moments. I mean, you look over here and you've got California, Stanford, Oklahoma, Texas, Michigan, Ohio State, those rivalries. But I mean, you have, the historically black college and university section. You've got so many different things that reach so many different levels of college football.
Yes, and that was very important to be inclusive. You mentioned the 760 helmets. We wanted to be completely inclusive of the game, while at the same time, representing the Hall of Famers themselves.
Now, what is the process of nominating someone for the Hall of Fame? Is there a public process, or is it actually media-based, or how does that work?
So the National Football Foundation oversees the selection and induction of College Football Hall of Famers. It's a pretty tough criteria. You have to be first-team All-American as a player. So when you start thinking about quarterbacks, that really starts to narrow the pool. So you have to be either unanimous or consensus first-team All-American. Then you have to be 10 years out of college and not an active pro. And then your school has to nominate you. So you have to have maintained a good relationship with your college or university, and kind of have that character thing going for you as well. And then once the school nominates you, then the National Football Foundation and Honors Court put the ballot together. The ballot's released. National Football Foundation chapter members can vote. The Honors Court votes, and they kind of come down to the final group. And this year there's 19 going in that'll be inducted in December.
Wow. That's a pretty solid class.
It really is, and
is.
It's a solid process. It sounds like, because, like you said, it checks off all the boxes in terms of both your athletic accomplishments and what you've done, in your community, on your campus, that kind of thing as well.
That's correct. How you have stayed, integrated into the community after you leave.
Yeah. Kimberly BEAUDIN of the College Football Hall of Fame. Kimberly, just want to say once again, thank you so much for your hospitality. There has been, look, I'm from Birmingham area. I'm from the Birmingham area. I loathe that Atlanta is taking the things from Birmingham, right? I mean, it really, it upsets me. But again, the backdrop for SEC Media Days, it's hard to beat this, and you guys have done a fantastic job from top to bottom, not just taking care of the coaches and players, but taking care of the media and the fans who are in attendance.
Well, and that's what we wanted. We wanted to have a place where the fans could be, and that's why we opened that quad area to the public so that they could cheer on the coaches and the players that come through. But yes, you're the reason we're here, right? So the media is the reason we're here today, to have the opportunity to visit with the coaches and players. So thank you for the compliment. It's our job. So glad to hear they're doing it well.
They are. We've really enjoyed it. Thank you so much for your help.
No, my pleasure.
All right, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, more from SEC Media Day here on Main Street Sports Day, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. Come back after this.
Are you an enthusiastic sports fan? Want to have fun and get in on the action?
Heck, yes. That'd be awesome.
Have great attention to detail? Want to stay active?
Definitely.
Want to give back to the student athletes in your community?
Obviously, yes.
Then you'd make an excellent high school sports official. We need more officials in Tennessee, because with no high school officials, there are no high school sports. Sign up today at highschoolofficials.com.
Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint has been the official sports medicine provider for Maury County Schools for more than 40 years. We specialize in orthopedic injuries, and our Ortho Quick walk-in service lets you bypass the ER. Visit us online at www.mtbj.net. Welcome back in. Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. Chris Yao alongside Mo Patton, JP Plant on the controls. And looking forward to this next segment as we round out and finish the week talking NASCAR. 3 times this week we have talked about this Nashville Super Speedway weekend coming up that will culminate on Sunday at 4 o'clock with the Ally 400. And based on this season, you got to think the 1 and the 99 could certainly be in contention by the end of the race on Sunday. Those are Trackhouse Racing's Ross Chastain and Daniel Suarez, who will be in that pink and purple Tootsie's Orchid Lounge ride. And to talk about it, we have with us now Ty Norris of Trackhouse Racing. Ty, what's going on, man?
Well, I'm sitting here at the racetrack. We've had a massive week, and finally got to the racetrack. I told him, I said, we were fortunate enough with Daniel Suarez to win at Sonoma. Then we had a weekend off, and then straight into Nashville, where we had sponsor summits, and all of our people came in town a couple of days early. And I'm glad we're back at the racetrack. This celebrating has been is wearing us down.
Ty, we appreciate it. I've mentioned on this show a couple of times, we were fortunate enough to get you on back in February, and the success that Trackhouse has had since, as Chris said, with Ross Chastain picking up a couple of wins and Daniel Suarez most recently out at Sonoma. We're kind of taking a little credit for that. So just for what that's worth. Yeah, I wanted to ask you, how were the pit stops yesterday?
Well, they say, failure is an orphan and success has many fathers. So if you want to be the father of the success, you go ahead and jump right in there. We'll give you all the credit you want and deserve. But yeah, we took our 99 pit crew down in front of Tootsie's on Broadway yesterday, and they were gracious enough to let us go over there and showcase these athletes. They talk about the drivers all the time, the crew chiefs all the time, the owners all the time. But, when you start talking about, in some cases, up to a couple hundred people who are preparing cars and pitting cars and getting everyone healthy enough to come and do this on a week-to-week basis, it was really neat to be able to showcase those athletes. And, the Nashville streets Broadway is always packed. However, it was really awesome to see a race car and all the excitement of the fans and non-fans who were just going like, what in the world is going on Broadway? and they couldn't, at first they couldn't figure out, and then they were so excited, and they called their friends, and next thing you know, the sidewalks were just jam-packed. And so we had a great experience down there, and Tootsie's means so much to us because as a Nashville-based organization, we wanted last Nashville race, the first Nashville race last year, to be the quintessential Nashville look and feel, and nothing is more quintessential Nashville than Tootsie's Orchid Lounge.
That's probably accurate. It's interesting because this is kind of, with you now living in Middle Tennessee, it's kind of your hometown race. And like you said, there's a lot of extra stuff that goes on when you're in your hometown because you feel like you have to be the host. You're the person who has to entertain folks. And so it makes it a little bit difficult, how does that impact, the preparation throughout the week? Is it make it a little bit more challenging on Sunday?
Well, it could if you let it, but we have incredible staff, and so this week has gone in this order. Monday we had a lot of different meetings and preparation coming back from the off weekend, it's our only off weekend. We raced 38 out of 39 weekends from February to November, and this was our only weekend off, and so a lot of people took advantage of that, and they came back Monday ready to go and still celebrating that we had won the last race that was run. And then Tuesday we typically once a month have these things called Trackhouse Tuesdays, where all the employees get together and commune, whether it's the fabricators and the accountants to the engineers and the pit crew and the maintenance crew and the executives. It's always a great event. Well, this event we had a great visitor. Pitbull came in, he's a partner and co-owner of the team, and he happened to be in North Carolina, and so he came over and spent a couple 3 hours in the shop, seeing everybody, talking to everybody, taking pictures of everybody, smashing piñatas with Daniel Suarez. Just a heck of a celebration. And so that was Tuesday, and then Wednesday night we came to Nashville and hosted our partners at the rooftop at the West End at L27, and then went to the Country Music Hall of Fame all day yesterday and had an incredible session with our summit session with all of our sponsors, with Steve Phelps, the president of NASCAR, people from NBC. And then last night we did host. We hosted the whole industry on the rooftop of Tootsie's. And so, we have so many amazing things going on. They're all positive. The vibe around the organization is positive. The vibe around Nashville and its embracing NASCAR is just so refreshing. So it was an incredible week, and now we get to come back to the racetrack and try to win more trophies and try to create some more excitement.
If you're fortunate enough to be able to see us on video, JP has pulled up some of the video from the pit stops from yesterday. Man, it's impressive.
Oh
yeah, that's
yeah.
pretty amazing to watch.
We have guys who are former NFL athletes. The tire carrier on there was a linebacker in the NFL. Corey's a former lacrosse player. We have guys who are Olympic swimmers. So we have guys who are used to putting sweat on the floor, working their butts off, and getting prepared to do professional athlete things. And that's what they do every Sunday for us. And it's just a real pleasure to watch them do their work.
Will they be wearing cowboy hats on Sunday? That
was the coolest thing. I showed up. I was like, I know you guys aren't going to try to change tires and cowboy boots, but boy, they all went. They landed. They went straight and got hats, and they played it up. And those hats were seen on Broadway last night till about 1:30, I think. So we finally made them go to bed and told them, all right, you don't have to pit till Sunday, but you guys, those hats were they got the use out of those hats last night. It was a lot of fun.
This guy sliding in on the passenger back tire right there. That's a boss move right there.
I'm telling you, people do not understand how athletic you do have to be a pit crew member. And like you said, Ty, I mean, you've got former athletes, at the highest level athletes. And this is the highest level of NASCAR. And really, when you look back at the way that this first season has gone for Trackhouse, how do you put in words how impressive this team has been from top to bottom?
It's a humbling time, but I get a lot of text messages with references to this particular thing I'm going to say. People said, one day you'll look back at these days and say, these are the best. These are the best times. These are the good old days. We're living the good old days, and too often you don't recognize it until it's too late, and they used to be your days, right? So we have been front and center with to everyone to say this is a very, very special moment in time for this young organization to be coming to the racetrack every week, to be competitive every week, and then to have won 3 of the first 16 races this year. Both have 2 drivers who entered the season who'd never won a race, and now they're both winners and also locked into the playoffs. And I would just say these are the good old days, and we recognize them now, and we appreciate them, but we do live by 2 words: being hungry and humble. And the moment that we believe that we have everything figured out is the moment we start trailing and getting behind. And if we think that we can just rest on those 3 wins and say this is a great season, then we will have let ourselves and our partners down, and we don't do that.
Ty Norris with Trackhouse Racing with us here on Main Street Sports today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. Ty, you mentioned you guys have won 3 of 16 races thus far. Obviously, you feel like you have got a shot to win it every time you go out on the track. But what is it about this weekend in particular that makes you feel good about Ross and Daniel and their chances here at Nashville?
Well, there's probably 2 things. Trackhouse is nothing without Chevrolet. We're nothing without the partnership the key partnership we have with Chevrolet as a factory back team, and what they do with their aero teams, what they do with their design teams, their simulation teams, and excuse me, there's no way we exist, and we're not even a storyline without Chevrolet. And just knowing what they have done, Chevrolet has done to help us prepare for this weekend. We did sim runs we're in simulator this week, and the drivers come in here with a ton of confidence, first of all. Second of all, Ross finished second here last year. Daniel finished seventh here last year, and our program is better. Our cars are better. We're in better position against the field. And so, yeah, we have a lot of confidence coming to this particular track, and we feel like we'll be in the mix as we have traditionally been the last, couple, 3 months.
That is one of the things that makes Trackhouse, so impressive, is how well that they have kind of gelled so quickly. And this weekend, we spoke with Heather Williams of WCYB TV earlier this week. And Ty, before we let you go, just one thing. This is a unique track in Nashville, concrete, super speedway.
Yes.
Yeah, obviously, tire management is going to be key. How much have you guys been at Nashville since you do have a home base here in Middle Tennessee? Do you guys get a chance to be out there a little more than maybe some other teams?
Well, NASCAR has instituted a no testing policy, so there's been no testing.
Sure.
No one's been on the track. No one's, and I've only been out here one time since the race, and that's just because of my friendship with Eric Moses and Austin Hahn. So I don't have any other reason to come out here. We don't learn anything by looking at the racetrack. So none of us have had any advantage of actually physically being on the racetrack. But but like I said, Chevrolet, with their simulation, incredible simulation program, we can make laps around Nashville Speedway all day long, but just happens to be in Charlotte, North Carolina. But yeah, I mean, the last concrete track we raced on was Dover, the sister track to this, or somewhat sister track to this, to Nashville. And Ross and Daniel both competed for top fives. I believe Daniel finished fourth or fifth, and Ross, I believe Ross finished third, maybe. So we totally anticipate these guys will be able to get to this concrete track and adopt quickly.
Ty Norris, Trackhouse Racing. Looking forward to this weekend. Ally 400 Nashville Super Speedway, 4:00 on NBC. We said
NBC.
That's right. All right, Ty.
NBC, they're taking over, and I'm looking out across all those motorhomes sitting out there. So I hope everybody can come out here and enjoy the weekend. Tootsie's has a big infield lounge. You can go down to the infield lounge and get a taste of Broadway out here at the racetrack. So it's going to be a great weekend for everybody. I hope everybody can make it.
We'll definitely be rooting for you, Ty. So we appreciate you taking some time with us this afternoon. Ty Norris.
And we're going to take all the credit for all the wins the rest of the year.
There we go.
All right. Hey, listen, if we blow up 10 straight races, I'm calling you because you're also going to take the blame.
That's fair.
That's absolutely fair. Appreciate it. Thanks, Ty.
Thanks, guys. All right, bye. All right.
This is Chris Yao with Main Street Sports Team. Every show, Mo Patton and I welcome friends from all across the sports landscape, from high school coaches and reporters to national, college, and pro sports personalities. You never know who might stop by for a chat. AP Tennessee Sports Editor, 3-time Tennessee Sports Writer of the Year 2020 TSWA Hall of Famer. She covers the Titans, the Predators, the Grizzlies, college football, and hoops. Please make welcome Teresa.
Former University of Tennessee, former Team USA Olympian, Dick Cy Young Award winner, R.A. Dickey. R.A., did I miss anything?
Man, that was sweet. Yeah, I need to listen to that before I go to bed every night. That was nice.
Has 5 sports Emmys. That's not bad for the other guy in Wham.
Other guy in Wham married the best looking girl in Panorama, so other guy in Wham had a pretty good life.
From preps to pros, we're taking on the sports topics you care about. Tune in across Main Street Media social platforms at 2 p.m. or on demand on your podcast distribution platform of choice.